To me, books means family bonds. In the summer of 2020, I read a book called Nightingale. This book tells the story of two sisters' experience during the World War II. They were all devastated by the war, but they still worked hard for the ideal of survival. Ivan, the older sister, lived happily with her family until her husband was conscripted to fight for France against the Allies. Isabel, the younger sister, was rescued by the boy during the escape from the German bombing to Paris. She fell in love with him, and the boy joined the war. So she also joined the war because she wanted to follow him. Isabel rescued 117 pilots, and Ivan saved 19 Jewish children under Isabel's influence. In the book, Ivan was forced to separate with her husband because of the war, and she also forced to become a salesman of Gestapo. She has committed herself to Gestapo and endured humiliation. She desired peace, and her only wish was to live a peaceful family life. No matter how hard it was, she wanted to survive. This book reminds me of my grandfather. My grandfather is a soldier who has participated in many famous wars. He often tells me about what he experienced during the war. He was very impressed by one of the wars. The enemy set a fire at the bottom of the mountain, and the soldier had nowhere to escape and were burned to death. My grandfather was very lucky. He was one of the few people who escaped. He lost 95% of his friends. He told me this experience multiple times. Every time he finished talking about his experience, he would hold my hand and tell me that you would definitely not imagine how hard and difficult our days were. The current peace is what we have exchanged with warmth and life. You don't know how much we yelled for peace at that time. You should cherish the current peaceful world. You should cherish life, and you should cherish the people around you. We are now living peacefully and happily, and think a peaceful world is very normal. However, back to the wartime, peace was something that everyone desired for. What we think is very ordinary may be what others are desired for. When we have what others desired, we should cherish it. Same as family bonds. Our parents and siblings will be the first person who love us unconditionally and support us. We are surrounded by the love from them. Compared to us, Isabel was not that lucky. She longs to be loved by her father, Julian. After Ivan and Isabel's father, Julian, experienced World War I, his temperament totally changed, and he drank all day, leaving the two sisters to be raised by his aunt. The two sisters hurt a lot and thought their father doesn't love them. After the outbreak of World War II, his father worked in the German High Command in Paris, and his father and daughter has become the enemy. Moving toward the end of the war, Isabel finally found out that his father was a spy who had endured humiliation and had been silently protecting his daughters. Isabel was caught in her last rescue operation. In order to save her daughter, he sacrificed his own life. Also, Ivan saved Isabel as well. Isabel hid in Ivan's house to avoid being pursued by Nazi soldiers. However, the Gestapo found out she was hiding in this place. This Gestapo had a high knowledge and treated them so well. When Ivan and her daughter was about to starve to death due to the food shortage, and when they were sick and lacked medicines, the Gestapo helped them and made them through the most difficult years. But when this Gestapo found her sister here, Ivan killed him immediately, even though she knows that the next Gestapo who lived at her house would treat her so bad. The only reason she did in this way was to protect her daughter Isabel from getting hurt. After reading this book, I couldn't clean myself for a long time. Because of the war, they have very few opportunities to get along with their families, and they will even lose their family members because of the war. In our peaceful age, we should cherish the time we spend with our family members. We should cherish the love between our families. Our families are the true treasures we should give our time to. I can see the cruelty of war in this book. Loss of family members, loss of lovers, loss of friends. This book reminds me of my family members, especially my parents and my grandfather. My grandfather passed away a few years ago, as I still remember the experience he told me about the war. He told me to cherish the current life, the people surrounding us, and the peace. Deep in my heart, Nightingale is not only a book, it means the family bonds to me. Thank you.